Today I'm going to be repairing the switch connector on this 1986 Fender Contemporary Telecaster. For a brief period during the late 1980s, the Fender Corporation, after CBS had sold Fender to the employees, didn't have a factory to manufacture their guitars in because CBS hadn't sold the manufacturing facility. So the Fujigen Corporation in Japan was where the majority of, or in fact all, Fender guitars were made for a few years during that period. This model of guitar, the Contemporary series, which there was a Stratocaster as well as a Telecaster, were made in 1985 and 1986 and have a few features which you wouldn't normally see on the standard range. It really isn't a standard style of Telecaster at all. It's got a whammy bar and humbuckers, so a little bit out of the ballpark for normal behaviour. As you can see here, I'm having a bit of a wrestle with this switch, trying to desolder all of these earth connections that come from the various different points from the two humbucker pickups which I not so long back installed. The problem was due to an odd reading coming from the neck pickup, and so I thought that having poked about with a multimeter, I thought there was an odd reading coming from the humbucker setting on the neck pickup. The coil split for the neck pickup gave me the correct reading, so I thought I'd just take it all apart and try and make a better job of the wiring here. It's a little bit awkward because having a metal switch like this is a large mass of metal that it's very difficult to solder to, and so that was why there was a problem originally, or that would appear to be why there was a problem originally. I did forget during this process that a large mass of metal gets rather hot when you're soldering it, and every time I picked it up I went, ow. I'm a little bit out of practice with soldering, and so I'm probably not as neat as I could be, and for some reason I've forgotten that it involves heat, and every time I touched anything I touched it slightly too soon. So I've added an extra bit of single core wire here, which I'm attaching all of the earth connections to, which is then going to connect to this sort of like little stub that I've attached to the switch itself. And once everything's reconnected, I used some shrink wrap to make it look a much neater and tidier job, and for there to be no exposed bits of wire poking about. I mean, this is earth; these are all earth connections for the most part, apart from those two sticking out to the right there. So there was little chance of anything touching something else, but it makes it look a lot neater than it would have been otherwise. So putting the switch back into the body and putting the panel back on. Fastening up the little knurled nut on the front, and then just because I could, I connected it up to the oscilloscope just to see that there was some sort of signal. This is not really very informative at all. It's just a bit of silliness that I thought I'd do whilst I was whilst I was there. Then once I'd completed this and finished fiddling around with knobs and dials, I made a little bit of noise. Just to check it was working.